to authorize the city administrator to execute a grant offer acceptance agreement. And it lays out, the CAF lays out the cost associated with that. The city is acting as a pass-through. It's paid by FAA as well as the airport board, so that there's truly no cost to the city for this.
Okay. Are there any members of the public that have public comments they would like to make regarding new business item number 3? No one coming forward. Are there any questions from the council?
You go ahead.
I just am curious, what are their ultimate plans? I mean, is the runways going to be longer? Is there going to be a different type of traffic?
But honestly, I haven't heard what the future plans are. It's set up for future expansion, but you also have to protect the airspace on both ends of the runway.
My understanding is that they are looking for funds to pave at least one of the 2 runways that are currently grass.
I believe that is correct.
And in order to do that, they have to have certain lighting and basically approach vectors on both sides to be able to manage that traffic that comes into the paved runway. So that's kind of what they're trying to do. My question is, this portion of the right-of-way authorization, where does that sit in terms of the land? Is it on the south side? Is it on the western portion of the runway of the property, or is
actually, I don't have a map, so I'm not actually sure. I was under the impression it was the south side, but
I believe it's southwest.
Yeah, I'm looking at the land use plan that shows additional land to the south of the airport that's currently not on their current map. So I'm assuming that that's what they're looking for.
right. And there's actually some additional properties that they're looking to acquire also.
Okay, but that's not this discussion. This
Right,
discussion
that's
is
correct.
the right-of-ways for the south. I'm assuming the south of it, and that's just to accommodate the paving of that north-south runway, more than likely. Again, I don't know for certain.
That is their intention. I went to an airport board meeting
Yep.
Last month,
Okay.
and
Thank you.
that is indeed their intention.
Okay.
Any other questions? How would council like to proceed with new business item number 3?
I move that we authorize the city administrator to execute an escrow agreement for the purchase of right-of-way for future expansion of the Gardner Municipal Airport.
Second. Motion Schutz, second Freeman, that we authorize the city administrator to execute an escrow agreement for the purchase of right-of-way for future expansion of the Gardner Municipal Airport. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And number 4, Brian, would you like to expand on this at all?
I can give you a little more information on actually the numbers here.
Sure.
The first item on there is the purchase price of the property is $205,800. The actual agreed upon price is noted in the paragraph below that was $223,000. And so FAA pays for 90% of the $205,800. That's the number they felt was the most appropriate. The airport board felt it was critical to have the property, and so they've agreed to pay the difference between the 223 and the 205. So when you do the math, FAA will be contributing $249,000, and the airport board will be contributing $44,000. So it's not quite a 90-10 split.
Okay. Again, I would open up the floor to public comments on new business item number 4. With no comments coming, questions from council?
How's the Gardner Airport, you may not be able to answer this question, but how's the Gardner Airport Board financing the $44,000 that's their portion of this cost?
I can answer that.
Public record, or is it?
Well, I too went to the airport board meeting last month, and they have a lot of hangar rentals that they raise most of their money from.
Okay.
Is what I gathered. I don't. Mr. Mayor can probably elaborate. But.
Yeah, I believe they've got money budgeted for this.
I know they were going to look to double their hangar space that they currently have.
The hangar rentals, and they also get some money off the gas they sell.
Okay.
Any other questions? I would entertain a motion.
I move we authorize the city administrator to execute a grant offer acceptance agreement with the Federal Aviation Administration for the acquisition of right-of-way for future expansion of the Gardner Municipal Airport.
Second.
Motion Harrison, second Shute, that we authorize the city administrator to execute a grant offer acceptance agreement with the Federal Aviation Administration for the acquisition of right-of-way for future expansion of the Gardner Municipal Airport. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Brian, thank you. That being the case, we're done with the, is there anything that staff has for council members?
Chair, if I may, please, to address the council.
Certainly.
Just a couple updates on some things. I know Council Member Freeman made a comment to me one time about the progress of Securitas, just to let you know that is continuing. We have had a couple issues with some of the crossing guards. Securitas is very responsible, dealt with them immediately. They have been resolved. This has been the second week that we've had them on the job. So far, no problems. So I think it was just kind of working through some issues with Securitas, making sure we had the adequate coverage at the places that we needed it. The people that we had stationed there were going to remain there, and it's been resolved and handled. So I just wanted to update you on that one. The second thing I wanted to update everyone on is we are launching the First Citizens Police Academy September 25th of this month. We have 19 people signed up for it. The officers are working very hard on making sure it's a very good program, and I think all the council members will be very proud of the product the officers turn out once it's completed. So that's just wanted to touch base about that. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Chief.
Chief Collins, just a question about the Citizens Police Academy. Are those going to be held quarterly or annually or semi?
Sir, what we're going to do is, for the first time out, we're going to hold this one, we're going to call this our fall session, then we will hold a spring session.
Good.
So we'll have 2 a year.
I've had people approach me on the Citizens Police Academy or were interested in being a part of it, but they couldn't fit it into their schedule for this time around.
Right. Yeah, again, we'll host another one come spring. This is kind of our test pilot program where we're going to take it out and see how it works. But I think the citizens will be very excited about it. They're actually going to be able to handle a disturbance call and do a felony car stop. So we're going to give them some hands-on training.
Good. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Council have anything for staff? Okay.
Well, I actually do. Can
Sure.
we talk a little bit, what's happening over on Shawnee and White, all the road that's tore up? What's the status?
Shawnee and White?
Well, no, it's Shawnee,
Paved now.
it's, is it?
Washington.
Washington, oh,
I
East
don't think it's
Washington.
paved yet.
Yeah.
The sanitary sewer line went through there, and for a very long time, the road was, half the road was impassable. They did get asphalt, first lift down by close of business on Friday. I still have some additional asphalt work to do. We hope it'll be done this week.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? I've got one thing. We've got, want to make sure that everybody would be able to attend a work session next Monday regarding the Electric Utility Board and their ordinance.
What would the start time be?
Traditionally, 6:30. Or did we have a miscommunication, Cheryl? Were you thinking this was going to be a different time?
I was thinking it was going to be a little bit later, so that we'd have an opportunity to pull together some of the
That's-
items we discussed. So
Okay.
if it's okay, we would like to go with perhaps the 30th. Does that work?
What's the purpose of the meeting?
You want to-
I'll be glad to talk.
Okay.
Basically,